Hey guys, and welcome back to both my channels. It is Aaron Bailey, aka Artist Illusion, coming at you with another fun live makeup tutorial. For today, I thought, as the title and thumbnail shows, I'm going to do a look inspired by Sabrina Carpenter, which is a traditional, subtle, glowy kind of style makeup, which is something I don't do very often, especially on this channel. I don't think I've done a very subtle look in a good while, so I thought, why not play with something that's a little bit more outside my box per se. So when you think of Sabrina Carpenter's makeup, you think of a very neutral eyeshadow look, somewhat of a cut crease but not too much, as well as very orange blush, very shimmer highlight, especially more of a dewy skin, but of course, with me, I always keep my foundation very mattified, but I do have a couple of products to use to kind of help replicate that idea. As far as her lip goes, it's more of like having a terracotta outline and then a pink nudish tone in the center and keeping it very glossy. So with that, we are going to get started on this. Just taking my 3 primers from my She Glam Triple Threat Correction Primer to my 2 matte primers from Hard Candy and Essence Cosmetics. And just work this on the outer perimeter of the face as usual. Alright, and then starting off, we're going to use my Rimmel Multitasker Better Than Filters foundation. This is in the shade, I think it's Natural, 2 Fairlight, and we're just going to use this around the brow and the sideburns just to have a slight bit of coverage before blending it out. This is a mixture of a highlight, a glow boost, and primer, so this could be used basically as your primer. I am just using this as both part coverage as well as making sure that my hair, or what's left of it after shaving, does not peek through. Alright. And then going in with my foundation concoction, a little bit of my LA Colors Truly Matte Foundation in Natural, with 2 Profusion Feel Good Skin in Light 3 Cool Pink, and 210 Light as well. And we're just going to take a little bit and start in the center of the forehead and work our way outward. Making sure we want it where we need the coverage the most, and then buffing out the product outwards. Question? Go ahead. Hello, hello for all those starting to join. Hey, Jordan. Okay, now moving on to contour, going in with my usual 3. And we're going to keep the contour a little lighter, so to speak, just because we are trying to quote-unquote mimic a style of makeup. Identity is constant or changed. That is not a question I would fully be able to kind of answer, because it's subjective to whoever it may refer to. this side. I am from the, I guess, is it considered Midwest? It's Oklahoma, and that's about as far as I'm going to say where, but basically Tornado Alley Central is where I'm from. Yeah, I get that you're asking for yourself, but that's kind of a subjective question that doesn't have like a very straight answer, so to speak. And that's probably one that I don't know how to actually answer without it coming across either wrong or maybe not what you're looking for. I mean, finally getting over the cold Arctic storms that just came across, finally starting to hit some springtime weather. See how long that lasts. As I always say, radar says one thing, Oklahoma chooses to do another. Not good, but yet you somehow stumbled onto my channel, which means you had to have been looking somewhere. That's not 100% true. I bet you half your movie stars have to wear makeup to look as good as they do. Try again. Moving on to brows. So with this being kind of Sabrina Carpenter inspired, no, I'm not, but I'm still worth it. So with Sabrina's brows, they are more natural-esque, so I'm gonna try to mimic that. We'll see how that goes. I think that is about as close as I can get for that. Yeah, I'm aware. Like I said, it's not exactly a question I don't know how to really answer, so... Exactly. Twisted Sister, Thunderstruck, I guarantee... Kiss. So, I mean... If you want to sit there and try to rationalize your ideas, you still have too many people against you that says otherwise. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and set this. Well, thank you very much. Right, I'm going in with my large buffing brush, and then my Rimmel. This is in the shade Natural. We're just going to use this to blend out the powder and make sure it's all dusted in. means to be a captain when you're a queen, sweetheart. If you got nothing better to do, then you can just move on. Nowhere today. I cannot leave the house at the moment because my car is in the shop. And this is just for the shits and giggles of it all. Alrighty. Now move on to filling in the brows. I'm going to take my Hard Candy bronzer and cocoa, and we're going to use this to start filling in the brows as a base. Right. You don't care, yet you keep pressing on the matter. Statistics say otherwise. Okay. Then going in with a denser brush and my highlight powder, which is the She Glam Pressed Foundation Powder in Porcelain. I'm going to use this to highlight the center of the forehead as well as feathering out the front ends of these brows before we start making them a little bit more defined. Alright. So this is the one that's got a blank account, a basic username. Right. Hello everyone joining in. Because I got nothing better to do with their lives but to be mean. Jealousy is a real pain in the ass in the industry, I'll tell you that. Well, if it's to protect yourself, sweetheart, then allow me to show you the door. See ya. And with that, bye, bitch. I love how they're like, oh, it's to protect myself from people like you, yet somehow you stumbled onto my fucking channel. Gotta love how that works. Now, I am nowhere near the best streamer, but I do appreciate that, Jordan. Oh, they control all they want. The world can see what kind of an asshole they are in the end. Meanwhile, I need to get this brow right. I live in Oklahoma, and that's as bad as discreet as I'm gonna make it. Alright, and buff out these front ends one more time. Yeah, more than likely. Alright. Going in with my Lottie London arch rival brow marker, we're going to start doing some of the brow hair details. One side. And it's about as close as I'll get it. Alright, moving on to using concealer, we're going to start carving the undersides of these puppies. And where she disappeared to? So I'm going to be using the Makeup Obsession Makeup Concealer in shade 2. And we're going to use this to start carving out the undersides and cleaning up these brows. Starting with this side. That was good. Oh, you'd be amazed. Come to find out that it's almost going to be my 11 years since I've been doing makeup, and it's crazy how, looking back, I simply just started out with playing with lipstick, then moving on to shadow, then a full face, which was not great back in my day, and then becoming what I am now. Not only is it crazy with every makeup step, but then you have to think about skincare as well, because what your skin looks like underneath is how you take care of it on the outside. Oh, thank you very much, Jenna. Okay, so they're going to be somewhat relatable, but they're not quite sisters. Taking my Rimmel powder, we're just going to set these down. Then again, symmetry has never been my best friend, so we'll just leave it at that. Alright, moving on to shadow. So, with Sabrina Carpenter's makeup style, it's very neutral, very subtle. So for the two palettes that I'm going to use for today's look, it's going to be a mixture of the Lottie London Chocolate Box palette here, which has some basic neutral tones, along with this Relove by Revolution eyeshadow palette called Sweet Sunday, which has two cute matte shadows plus the shimmer shadows, which we will try to use in the crease. Now remember, this is an inspirational look, not an exact or recreation, because God forbid I don't have the skin type or skill level to be that subtle. I put the X in extra and the B in subtlety. Starting off with the Profusion neutral base, along with the NYX Ultimate eyeshadow base. We're going to use this to prime the eyes for shadow. Whether if you believe in shadow primer or not, a concealer will work just as good. This is just what I've been using from the get-go for a while, and it works wonderfully for me. I'm just buffing it all in so the whole lid space is primed and ready. And because Sabrina has a very precise eye style, I'm still going to take my tape to create the stencil edge so that way we can keep it nice and clean. Following where that contour line is, right about here. So we're going to start off with our lightest shade, which is going to be... I could have swore there was a different shadow than this, but I'm going to start off with like this light brown color. I'm going to take a fluffy brush to start us off with, so that way we can just buff it around the crease. Building it up in the back corner and then just slowly pulling it forward. Little circular motions to define that crease line. We're going to try to keep the shadows kind of light in the front, but more pronounced in the back end. That'll match in with the liner. Just like so. And then grabbing a larger, denser brush, we're going to take a darker brown. We're going to take kind of a mixture of this and this one together. Oh, they actually do have names. So it's fudge and... oh, hot cocoa and brownie for the outer corner colors that we're gonna try to pull towards the middle. So I don't want to pull this all the way out. Pretty much like that, where we just keep it more focused on the outer corner. And then going back in with sugar. Just gonna buff out that color. Now, even though a lot of people say don't use window wiper motions, which is the back and forth, but I am trying to diffuse the darker colors just enough to where it blends out. And vaguely pull them along the crease line, but we don't want to pull all the way to forward because we want it to be very much lighter in the front but more pronounced in the back. And then just to add a touch of drama, I'm going to take a black eyeshadow, which is my Ulta Beauty eyeshadow in Late Night, and we're just going to promptly leave it right there, just enough to kind of give us a more wing effect. Alright, and now moving on to cutting the crease, I have one new product I can't wait to play with. It is the Lottie London Cloud Color Longwear Matte Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Peach Out. And we're just going to promptly use this mainly on the lid. But we're going to top it over with a... nope. With a shimmer shadow. And going into the Sundays palette, we're going to take a more domey brush, and we're going to take shade number 2, which is this more like pink shimmery champagne-y color. Focus that mainly on the upper part of the lid. Just like that. And then going back in with the hot cocoa color. Kind of like so. Basically pretty simple, fairly easy, and pretty, not generic, but sort of basic. And it's like ripping off a bandage. Cool. And then just to set the inner corner real quick, I'm going to take this Fairy Tale eyeshadow from Almay Cosmetics. Swirl the brush in there. There, just a simple light dusting. And just to kind of reinforce that line real quick. There we go. And then do the same on the other eye. Cool. And the same with the other eye. We have our stencil line. Right, and taking sugar once more. Pack that on the outer corner. And gently pulling it towards the crease and nose. Alrighty. I'm going back in with hot cocoa and brownie. Well, thank you very much. I tend to think that shadows are my main focus when it comes to a look, just because I love blending the colors in to make something new out of it. Now, whether it's the same eye shape or not, but you know, you work with what you got until it dies out. Well, they're actually pretty symmetrical this time. That's a shock. Yes, I do, and there's no problem with that. I would say when it comes to my makeup, my eyes, my lips, and my cheeks are kind of my best featurettes when it comes to the makeup, just because I have a natural high cheekbone. I haven't had any work done because I can't ever afford to. But if I ever did, I would prefer a BBL just to get rid of my fat that I have from drinking Coke and give my ass a little love. Alrighty. I'm going back in with Sunday. Well, you stumbled onto my channel, sweetheart, so if you don't like it, bug off. Slightly higher, but it's my eyes for you. Alrighty. And taking fairy tale one more time just to get that inner corner. That's about as even as I'll get them. My left eye always seems to arch a little higher, but we'll deal with it. Wow, and someone's acting like a little fucking toddler. Right, and then taking the filter foundation one more time, we're going to focus this on the under eye, around the nose. And then buffing it out. And this just works as both a primer and a base for the concealer to sit on. Gives it something to kind of blend into and hold on to. Alright, so going in with my top two concealers, it's going to be the Maybelline Superstay Activewear in Shade 1. We're going to focus this mainly on the under eye just to brighten up the inner corner and outer edge, as well as cleaning up the lines. And since we're putting it on top of a lightweight foundation, this will help kind of blend things out. Oh, good morning. Well, in this case, afternoon going on 1 o'clock. And then taking my L'Oreal, just going to pop this I have tried the NYX concealer, not really a fan just because I think the coverage on it doesn't work to my needs. I need full coverage, and I think the NYX concealer to me just doesn't blend out very well, nor does it have it's very cakey, which is really bad. And considering that I'm a full coverage hoe, I need a lot of it. I never really played with Tarte just because my affordability can't do it. I'm definitely more of a budget queen when it comes to makeup. So things like the LA Colors Ultimate Coverage Concealer, which is only $5, has probably been one of the best concealers I've worked with. It's just that I found my L'Oreal concealer amongst my collection, so I'm just going to use it until it dies out before switching back over. And the same thing with the Maybelline concealer, because I've had those two for God knows how long. Right, we got the under eyes done. So moving on to nose contour, I'm going to try a different approach with it to give it more of that doll-like appearance. So I'm going to take this Profusion West Coast Glow bronzer in Newsport, and I'm going to try this like domey brush to carve out the nose with it first. Or at least kind of like stencil it out before I start blending it with my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. So one side. There we go. Perfect. Just the way I needed it. And then taking Daytime from e.l.f.'s Putty Bronzer collection, we're going to buff out the sides of the nose. Cool. So like I stated earlier, this is not an exact recreation of Sabrina's makeup, but it's just more of my inspiration of how I see it through my eyes. Which means I want to keep my nose skinny, my eyes dramatic, and my contour severe, but not too severe. Alright. And then taking what's excuse me, what's left on the sponge, I'm going to start marrying the highlight with my foundation colors before I reinforce the color on the beard line. Taking what's left in the palette, and then I'm just going to add a little of my LA Colors Truly Matte Foundation and start pulling this down the neck so we can blend it further. And I'm just buffing it downward. Alright, moving on to the contour. I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Putty Primers in Sunkissed and Daytime. So we're going to start working with a... Yeah, I remember you. So starting with Sunkissed, which is the deepest shade, we're just going to carve out the cheekbone. Well, sweetheart, you stumbled onto my channel, so the question is, were you looking for it? Okay, Briella, I would appreciate if you don't start spamming that again. That's why you got muted the last time. So, can we not this time? Both of y'all were spamming it the last time, though. And that's why I had both of y'all muted on that time. I don't want to do that again. Well, he ain't my president, so don't really care, and we are not doing this today. Any big plans today? Not today, just having fun with the makeup, and then probably going to play some Persona 4 for a while. Alright, I think that about does it for that portion. And then taking a Wet n Wild photo focus stick and a foundation brush, we're going to cut underneath the foundation to make it a little bit more crisp, but not too much because we're also going to blend that, so. Oh, believe you me, when I started years ago, it never did either. There we are. And then do the same with the other side. Well, don't worry, Brayden, you can join her too. I'm not really selective to just one brand. I think they all have good qualities somewhere down the line. I would say at least like as far as eyeshadows go, Profusion Cosmetics has it hands down. It's inexpensive, good quality, and the colors are incredible. There we are. And taking a little back on the brush, we're going to do the jawline. Oh, thank you, Lauren. Alright. Now, as far as blush goes with Sabrina, it's normally very orangey, very like sun in the sun, especially with like espresso. So I'm going to take my liquid rosette blush from Ioni along with a Profusion blush called Peach Mimosa. And we're going to definitely try to embody that orange, sunny style makeup look that she does. So 3 dots there. And I do hope this does become blush blinding because that's kind of the vibes that I see with her blush. There we are. Nice orangey blush. This Ioni blush is insane for being that pigmented for only $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Are you kidding me? Mine doesn't normally either. I had to freaking search for this one. Flex Beauty. I'll have to look into that. There are so many brands that I want to try. It's just that my budget right now, especially with us having a need to move again, is just not in the cards for me at the moment. Alrighty. So now we're going to set all this again. Thank God I'm not fully asthmatic, but damn. Okie dokie. Now moving on to the power portions of our makeup, starting with nose contour. Going in with my quintessential Bitter Butter illuminating powder from Physicians Formula, where you're going to use this to highlight the center of the nose. Just like so. And then going in with the cheapest of cheapest contour palettes is the Shape Up Sculpting Contour from LA Colors. Taking the cool tone, just going to shape out this nose. Perfect. And then to slim the sides down, taking my Relove Super Matte Pressed Powders from Revolution in both vanilla and translucent. We're just going to hit the sides of this nose. And then for under eye highlight, I'm going to take my loose pigment powder or loose setting powder from Wet n Wild. This is their pink press or loose powder. And we're going to use this to get the under eyes. All right. I'm dusting off the excess on the cheeks here. And then taking the flatter butt end of the powder puff, or wedge or whatever. There we go. Alrighty, now on to contouring the face with my 4 quintessentials. So even though they say, you know, work with your darkest to the lightest, I do the or from your lightest to darkest, I do the opposite just to kind of give a more chiseled appearance. So starting off with a contour flat edge brush, I'm taking my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop press powder, which I believe is in the shade Deep. And with the lightest touch, just to give that cheek a little shape. And then buffing it out with my Hard Candy bronzer in Toasted with a more tapered brush. And taking a more dense dome brush, I'm going in with my L'Oreal Soft Matte Bronzer in 200 Fair. Bronzer and contouring I love because it really does change the appearance so dramatically. And then last but not least, taking my Charlotte Tilbury in 200 Medium. You may think that, but by the end of it, it's going to look amazing regardless. So whether if it's too much for your opinion or not, it's what I like. All right. And then the same to the other side. And we may never will, Tara, but at the same time, we do what we do best, and it outshines them. Right. And if people are pissy about that, well, then that's their own insecurity. Right, and then the last of the Charlotte. Well, thank you very much. Welcome. Alright. Now to blush ourselves out of our mind, I'm going to take two fun blushes, starting with the Hot Stuff blush from Profusion Cosmetics. This is Turn Up the Heat, which is a fun red blush, which we're just going to lightly graze around with. Alright, and then to buff everything out, I'm going to take this Age Perfect Radiant Blush from L'Oreal. This is in the shade... Oh, I guess it really doesn't have a shade name. But it's a really fun, like, orange color, which is what we're going to use to kind of buff out this reddish tone. Alright. And then to clean up the undersides of these cheeks, I'm going to take this Color Spell foundation. This, I got it from Dollar Tree. It just works as a way to undercut the undersides of these cheeks. Oh wow, we've already hit an hour? Damn. One more go. And then taking my L'Oreal True Match Pressed Powder in Classic Beige. Just going to use this to kind of color code everything. And without touching the under eye, so that way everything else is a little bit more toned down. Alright. And then taking my Ulta Beauty Buildable Foundation and Light Cool, we're just going to dust off all the excess and blend everything together. Thank you very much. All right. And then second to last, we're going into highlight before we work on the under eyes. I'm going to take two fun highlight colors. This is the Highlighter Reload Dare to Divulge by Revolution, which is a fun kind of like champagne-y skin tone. Oh yeah. With Sabrina, her cheeks are always so glowy. And so I'm hoping this will emulate that idea. And just for a little touch of fun, I'm going to take my Hard Candy Highlighter Duo in Blushing on You. And it's another light champagne-y color. This one has just a little bit more impact. All right. Now moving on to under eyes. So with Sabrina, it's definitely more subtle, but I'm still going to do my white liner just to open up the eye a little. And she doesn't have her liner as open as I normally do, so I'm going to try to close that up just a smidgen. Hi! So going in with my usuals, I'm going to take my LA Colors Wickedly Glam Cream Paint. Just going to line the under eye a little. Smoke it out. Oh yeah. And then going back in with the Lottie palette, I'm going to take Hot Cocoa and we're just going to lightly buff this out. Hey, Amanda! And then buffing what's left with Brownie. There we go. Subtle under eye. Not too much, but smoked out enough to be noticeable. Do the same with the other side. Alright. And then to add just a little flair, I have a fun new liquid eyeshadow that I got the other day. This is from About Face Cosmetics liquid eyeshadow called Cloud Control, which is a more iridescent style. And we're just gonna pop this in the inner corners. And just taking a butt end of a brush. just like so. Subtle and easy. And now for the under eye liner, I'm just going to take my Master Precise liner from Maybelline. Alright. And then for the top, we're going to do... You have a great day, Tara! I'm going to take my e.l.f. liquid liner. Alright. Hello. Right. I think that about covers it for the eyes, just so that way things are still subtle. Now moving on to lips, which is going to be the fun part. So with the lips, we're going to have a terracotta outline, which is going to be this Maybelline Master Ink Liner or liquid lipstick in Mocha Inventor. But first, we're going to push over our lips with this Love You Mocha from CoverGirl. Not for long. Right. And then taking Mocha Inventor, we're going to use this to outline the lips. Oh yeah, I watched an entire walkthrough of the new version. Hold up. And it just looks incredible. The story is the same practically with just a few extra hints. The gameplay is amazing. I hope with how successful it was that maybe they will recreate 1 and 3 and then maybe on to 4 and giving Origins a better chance. Oh yeah, Beneath the Null Moon, When He Meets Maria is gotta be my number one, like, calm go-to song. Especially at work, I will listen to this on loop in the background. And what I love with the soundtracks is that they did keep the original names of them, but adding like a little flair just to slightly differentiate. So, like the original sound, When He Meets Maria, is called Null Moon, but then you have Beneath the Null Moon, which is the remake. When He Meets Angela, it's called The Promise Reprise, but then it's Promise of the Forgotten. Oh, wow. Alrighty. Last but not least, lashes, and then we will be done with this look. So, starting off, I need my Bounce mascara. Wherever she disappeared to, because I can just set one thing down around here. Ha! Right. And with lashes, I'm just going to go in with my more subtle ones here. So having a bit more flare on the outer edge, which is better than it being all over. Well, Jack, if you don't like it, then move on somewhere else. Well, once again, you people want to come onto my channel and stir the pot. Well, if you came looking for this kind of thing, maybe that says a thing or two about you. Alrighty. And just to add a little bit of security, I'm going to use this Marie Claire's Ultra Glow Setting Spray to set all this down and give us more of a dewy finish. And then just to add a touch of femininity. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this tutorial of my Sabrina Carpenter inspired makeup. Very subtle, very blushy, very glowy. Thank you very much. Why are you doing? Why are you doing? I wish it was more of a complete sentence, but go off. Oh, God, it feels good to be this great. What are you doing? Well, from the obvious, makeup. Having fun with makeup, showing off what I can do. Why? Oh, why? Because I can, because it's fun. And it's got to be a crime to look this good. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, let's see, what can I do? I guess I can name off some of the key products for today's look. So, as we've stated before, the two shadow palettes in today's look have been the Lottie London Chocolate Box palette, which is this fun little guy, and the Sweet Sunday palette from Revolution Cosmetics. Let's see. Oh, right. For lipsticks, mainly the best one, especially the outline, is the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in Mocha Inventor. And for a gloss, I used the L'Oreal Infallible Gloss in Suede, which is this fun, iridescent, sort of peachy tone. But I think it's missing just a hint of a glow. So I'm going to take this MAC Studio Cream Highlight. You say nobody cares, yet you're the one that came on this fucking channel, so see ya, bitch. Oh wow, aren't we observant? Yeah, let dogs be who they want to be. I'm just upset at the fact that they probably can't live their lives as truthfully as I can. Let's see, is there anything else? Highlights. It's been pretty used up more than once. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, today was a really fun day. Really great turnout. If you did like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to all three of my channels, which is iris_illusion_2020. Under both my YouTube, Instagram, and my TikTok accounts. I hope to see you guys soon on my next video, and until then, have a great day, guys. Nah, that'll never happen. Fuckers can talk as much as they want, but by the end of the day, I'm the one that's getting the views. So until then, guys, have a great day.